listen, we've never had like a bass player in the pub before.
Nice.
And we do this game where we match off names against each other, and we'd love you to play it.
Okay.
I was going to go down the singer-songwriter route.
Okay.
But we've done that with previous people, and it always ends up John Lennon and things like that. So for the listeners as well, like, I just wanted to tackle bass players.
All right.
So this is your bass stopper, as we've called it now. So
wait. Let me get my. Let me.
Bearing
in mind, I'm an athlete. I don't really know one of these bass players, right? So just a little disclaimer there.
Okay.
Listen.
In case I say the names wrong.
I wrote these here. So basically, let's put it in I always put it in a point of view. Okay, let's do it a different way now. Arsenal or Chelsea, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, you pick Chelsea because of your personal preferences.
Yeah.
Right? You say, all right, so Man City, Chelsea, because of what you said earlier. Oh, I can't choose. Then, right, void. Okay, so then we carry on with the names again. So I'm gonna start us off. So this is bass players, okay? So Sid Vicious, Sex Pistols, or Dave Peacock from Chaz and Dave.
Sorry, Sid Vicious.
Why?
Sex Pistols. I prefer them as a band. Okay. Sex Pistols, a great band.
Sorry, Chaz and Dave.
Yeah, sorry, Chaz.
Sid Vicious or Geezer Butler?
Black Sabbath.
Geezer
Butler.
Yeah,
Why is that?
Geezer's, I mean, better. And like Sid probably got a few moves off Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, man, is such an underrated band. I don't know what was happening in Birmingham at that time, but it's just like lots of great music comes out of those kind of mash-up places.
I think Ozzy is one of the most underrated singers of all time.
And lyricists. There's some really cool lyrics as well.
Yeah.
Really, it was really arty, really weird, but also really like hard and like dark. Really, really cool. Geezer Butler's great.
Okay, so Geezer Butler. Geezer. Or Flea, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
It's got to be my man Flea, man.
Yeah.
He's one of the modern sort of G's. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's very modern actually. He's been around for quite a minute, but I'm a really big fan of him. Really big fan of like what he does. Again, it's like he plays funk, but in a punk way. Yeah, and it's like it's a really funny world that he occupies. And it's so funky and it's easy to dance to, etc. But it's like it's actually really hard to play the stuff that he does as consistently as he does while he dances around, etc. Top tip for any bass players in the house: when you're practicing, practice standing up. Like learn your songs, for your gig, whatever, and then try to learn them, play them standing up at home, because you want to be able to perform it as you would before you get to like stage. Like lots of people do that. They practice at home, sat down, doing all this complicated stuff, and then they get to the gig and they can't do it the same way, or it's not as comfortable because they've sort of dug those neural pathways, sat down. It's like obviously to learn stuff, you need to sit down and get it down. But I always once I've learned it, I get standing as soon as possible and start moving around the room. Not crazy, but just moving around so I can get used to. It's a whole different ball game expressing when you're standing and moving in the same context as you would.
If this is something you've learned
just from
practice,
the hard way, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I was just like, why can't I play the same stuff I was playing at home? Like, why is this so much harder? Why are my hands slipping everywhere? And like, you have to manage your adrenaline. Like it's a physiological thing that you're going through, and you need to still be able to think clearly and execute, but also be vibing and be stood up and look cool.
Yeah, I used to find it with the guitar. In the end, because I was always leaned over, it was like that. And then when I'd stand up, the guitar would look like a ukulele. So I would have to strap it like here.
Like
and it was like, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Flea
or Paul Cinnamon.
Oh, Paul Cinnamon for sure.
Cinnamon buns.
Paul Cinnamon. He's actually a friend of mine.
Okay.
The Clash are one of the greatest bands ever, and I know him through Damon, and having sort of just been around him a bunch. He's so cool, and like he dresses immaculately, and it's just like he's really arty and he's just interesting and deep, and he's also He's also that. It's like, it's such a cool, he's like really, really sweet, really, really kind, really, really punk, really, really mature, but also really silly. It's like a really fun.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. And some of his bass lines are just so cool. And again, he's like, it's not that, you know, if we're talking about just technicality, like Flea will shred everyone you've mentioned off, like he'll play them out of off the table, like hands down. But I bet like Paul Simonon has written more bass lines that you can sing or that would move you, you know what I mean? Yeah.
100%. He's basically Murdoch, right? Like
sort of inspired for sure.
He's the sort of geezer that I used to, as a musician, look at photos and think, I wish I looked like him.
But he looks like that.
I know.
He just is that.
His son is identical to him as well, isn't he? Like I was like, wow, that's like almost doppelganger.
Some strong genes.
Right, Paul Simonon or Bernard Edwards, Chic.
Paul Simo.
Okay.
All day.
That's how I'm going to say it. Paul Simo.
Yeah.
Or John Paul Jones.
Mate, that's a tough one. I'm going to stick with Simo.
Okay.
Why is that over him?
Again, I think obviously Led Zeppelin, amazing band, some obviously iconic things, but I think I probably would say I play more like Paul Simonon than I do. John Paul Jones.
Okay. So Paul Simonon or Vadim White from Earth, Wind and Fire.
Simo.
Okay. Simo or Bootsy Collins?
That's another deep one, actually, because Bootsy's the man.
Yeah.
And just, so influential, even more so than just in like bass players, but just like sonically, like as a producer, some of the sounds, like jumping into electronic music and like normal bands using different pedals because Bootsy used them. And, you know, his influence, you know, Prince, like so far reaching. But I think my spirit is just way more in line. I come from the more Paul Simonon school of rock.
I get that. I love Bootsy Collins on Silk Sonic album and all that. It's so good. Hey!
Yeah.
Right, this one would stump me. Okay, Paul Simonon or James Jamerson?
Okay, now this is James Jamerson then. I mean, I think he's probably the godfather. Like everybody on this list would probably say James Jamerson. Like he's that guy.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom.
Like all of those like just hits from the golden age of pop like that from the 60s and just his style. I play jazz basses, well, jazz inspired basses. I used to have a proper jazz bass. Just one of the most influential sort of Motown style players. But again, everybody's stolen moves. We've all stolen moves. And in fact, you don't even necessarily know that you've stolen the moves because his influence runs that deep. It's like he influenced your influence. It's like he's that guy. Just Google James Jamerson, everyone, and just check that list of things he's played on.
It's like Johnson with the blues, but with the bass, really.
It's outrageous.
Like unbelievable. Like Through the Grapevine and stuff like that.
Outrageous.
Okay, James Jamerson or Geddy Lee?
James Jamerson.
Okay, this might be a rush now, mightn't it? Hold on. Right, so James Jamerson or Victor Wooten?
James Jamerson.
You said this
one.
All
right, James Jamerson or John Entwistle?
John Entwistle. Oh, mate, that's hard. He was the bass player in the Who.
Yeah. Okay.
Who are going to be at the Royal Albert Hall this month, actually.
Oh, really?
Name dropping, but I know the guy playing bass. Like,
Mate, we love it. Name drop all you like.
Yeah, big up to John Button. That's really hard because I love John Entwistle.
Personal preference as well, like him.
I think. I also wish of all the bass players, I wish I got to see live before he passed. I would have loved to see John Entwistle play. I might This is hard. John Entwistle.
Wow. Okay. Didn't think we'd get past James Jamerson.
John Entwistle or Larry Graham?
Oh,
Sly the Family Stone, man.
All right, okay, I'm going Larry. He's just probably the coolest bass player of all time.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly.
His signature white bass.
Mate, Sly, what a band, group, whatever, project again.
Insane.
Unbelievable. Right, so Larry Graham or Jaco Pastorius, Weather Report.
Larry Graham. I've got thoughts on Jaco. I did not. Obviously, he's like one of the goats, and everyone. Again, one of your influences. But I think I kind of just got put off because everybody growing up playing bass was just like love it, like just Jaco. Like everyone was just like giving it that, and I get turned off immediately by that.
Yeah.
Like obviously Jaco's one of the goats, and I think you should study him if that's your vibe, etc. And again, it's one of those guys that you probably play. If you're doing harmonics on your bass, you're probably playing stuff you've stolen from Jaco. And Jaco is a goat, but wasn't mine growing up. I respect Jaco's playing and the techniques and the style. Again, J-bass style, that sound, but no, Larry Graham for me.
Okay. Larry Graham or Paul McCartney?
Sir Paul McCartney all day long. Yeah. I think Macca is still somehow underrated as a bass player. One of the best bass players to ever sing and play, because he can just sing like he's only singing and play like he's only playing bass while he's doing both. A lot of his bass lines, like dum dum boom doom, doom, like, and then from that to dum 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 dum, like they're so melodic and like vibey, like you can they're hooks in themselves. And obviously he's a melody guy. So and again, I think in terms of obviously all these guys are G's. But as sort of a player that I aspire to, or someone that I think I play a lot more like, if I said I played like any of these, like Larry or someone, I play more like Sir Paul McCartney.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so Sir Paul McCartney wins your bass stopper.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Just out of curiosity, we might have missed a few off the list there. What's your Mount Rushmore of bass players?